Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we got some good old Leaflet, the slime waifu. She tried to abort her 17-year-old kid. That's fucking insane.
So the next story is a little bit fucked up. It's a little bit of a fucked up story, but I really do want to cover it. So
The fuck did Julio just put there?
fucked up. It's a little bit of a fuck.
Little equals top 3 worst things you've seen in your life.
Story,
God damn.
I really do want to cover it. So yeah. So have you guys heard of this story? It is really
Jesus
bad.
Christ.
So there has been an interesting trend of basically moms, like these kind of like leftist mothers, and you see this a lot in like celebrities where they have you guys know Munchausen by proxy? Yeah. So
Who the fuck is thank you, Julio. I didn't, neither did I. Factitious disorder imposed on another, formerly called Munchausen syndrome by proxy, is a mental health condition where you pretend that someone within your care is sick when they aren't. Oh, yeah, it's a type of abuse. Help is available to make sure everyone involved is safe. Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what they're talking about. 911, the show, did an episode on Munchausen's, actually, where a mom was, I don't, like, yeah. So essentially, a mom in this episode of 911, she was essentially keeping her kids sick to reap the benefits of all the donations that she would get from like GoFundMe's and all that, so and those types of platforms for treatment for her child, even though she was the root cause of why the kid was being sick. Because and the only reason they figured this out is because I think they put the kid in like the hospital's care for like 72 hours, and the kid immediately started improving. But then the moment the kid went home, all of a sudden he started getting sick again. And she would essentially go from like city to city or state to state doing this sort of con, all at the expense of her child's health.
there's been a new term coming around called Transhausen by proxy.
Jesus Christ.
Basically these parents that they transition like their kids, and it's like the whole thing around it is like super sus, basically, where they have like a really young kid, and then like that comes out as like trans when they're like in single digit age. Yeah. And so there's this interest
Comes out as trans in massive fucking air quotes, by the way, because no kid at that age is even considering this. They don't even know what sex is, but you're gonna tell me that, you know, these little kids that haven't even reached 10 years old know what gender identity is? You really expect me to believe that these little kids who quite literally think they're fucking dinosaurs are gonna know what transitioning and what gender ideology and what being transgender means and is? Like, bro, their biggest concern is when they're gonna when the next time they're gonna be able to eat fucking candy is, not the fucking goddamn dichotomy of good and evil. Like, bro, it's just these parents, these people. I don't even want to dignify them with the title of parent. These people are insane, and they literally have kids just to force their own ideologies onto them because they know that no one gives two shits about them, and they need to have these kids and do this stuff. Why? Because it literally puts them on the spotlight, and it puts the parent on a pedestal where it's like, oh my god, the parent has a trans kid, so brave, so brave, wow, you're raising them right, type of situation, where they get gratification from all this stuff that comes about just because of the kid.
and so it's crazy.
Oh my fucking god, goddamn fucking thigh cramping up and shit, so annoying. Yeah, where were we?
Because this has been amplified due to a lot of social media, right? Because people can use it for social media clout, right? So anyway, so this
Yep.
is like the story basically. So there was like this boy that began a trans identity at age 12. The mother enabled hormones and like, legal name and gender change, socially affirmed, and even when married, they're preparing for like, for the surgery, but it still was not enough. So at 17 years old, the
Dude, this is what I find so stupid. It's like, oh, kid wants to get a tattoo. No, 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 you're not old enough for that. You're not in the right mind for that. Kid wants to enlist in the military. No, 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 you're not old enough. You're not in the right mind space for that. Kid wants to start smoking and drinking. No, 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 you need to be older. You need to be 18. You want to cut off your dick and have experimental surgeries? Or not experimental surgeries, but experimental medication that'll block your hormones and whatnot and stunt your hormonal growth. Yeah, oh yeah, totally. You're clearly, of sound mind to be able to do that. It's like, what type of clown world do we live in where, oh, a kid can't drink and get a tattoo and like enlist in the military or smoke until they're either 18 or 21, but at the ripe age of 7, we could go ahead and start scheduling surgeries to get your dick cut off and start injecting you with a bunch of hormones. Like it genuinely wild fucking timeline we live in.
kid tried to isekai themselves with a bullet to the head, right? And so they had a traumatic brain injury, and like both eyes had to be removed. And the
Jesus.
mother was livid that the kid survived. So she wants to sue the doctors now because they saved the kid and they did not respect a DNR, a do not resuscitate. So why did the kid have a DNR on them like that long ago? Right? So if they're 17 now.
Yeah, that's oh my god, dude. Dude, that is such a fucking like here they have the red flags, but it's like, why does the kid have a DNR? Why did the kid try it out? Like, oh my god, dude. Genuinely, these people this person should never have been a mother, and they should have been sent to an insane asylum. Because I can guarantee that, either one of two things. Either the kid actually did try to kill themselves, or the mother tried to kill the kid, and because the kid survives, now she can't get the clout of, oh, my kid, my trans kid committed suicide. Woe is me. Like it's all just weird, dude. Like it's honestly sickening, man.
The mom put a do not resuscitate on their child, like later, like early.
Yeah, in my opinion, that should not be a thing. If you can, sign a DNR for your kid, that should not be a thing no matter what. Because in my opinion, there's no way in hell any parent should sign a do not resuscitate for their child. A child shouldn't have a do not resuscitate in general. That's just weird in my opinion.
Yeah. Why have why have a do not resuscitate on the kid, right? So then allegedly CPS intervened and took the protective custody, but the mother plans to remove them from the hospital when they turn 18. And she says that they will live in hotels and flee to California, since California is a trans kid sanctuary state. She also claims that the gender struggle had nothing to do with the attempt, which is I mean,
no, I don't know. I'm gonna call a little bit of cap on that, not gonna lie.
But it's unlikely. Why was there so here's the questions, these are the red flags. Why was there a physically healthy minor that had a DNR? That's really, why is that? And the thing is by the way, like, we know this is true because the mom is a TikToker. So
oh god, of course.
We know this is all true is because the mom said this on their TikTok account. So why did the mother draft a DNR years ago? And why is a distressed child allowed to have access to a gun? That's true. Why? Also, yeah, at 17 years old, right? How did they even get the gun in the first place? So why, after all the frontline life saving, does the suicidality persist? And this is the most horrifying case. And like, this goes kind of like deeper, right? So this isn't like the whole. So anyway,
this just 100% reminds me of, like I said, that episode of 911 where the mom kept the kid sick. This 100% reminds me of that, because she is going to use this poor child to her advantage to get so much free money from people who have sympathy for her, and more so from people in the community that are gonna, massively exploit this child.
So this is like, again, like the official posts, right? The official posts here from like the actual mom. Has she had gender affirmation therapy, including the surgery? She's on hormonal therapy and is getting ready for bottom surgery. Hormone therapy alone did so much with the dysmorphia. What is it? I don't know. Is dysmorphia a new thing? I don't know what that is. Including growing a chest, softening facial features, and stopping hair growth. Legally changing her name and gender, still not enough. And then, like everybody, you get the classic hug box over here.
Yep.
It's amazing, awesome that you support doing all that. It's a great parent, like all the typical stuff, right? So you've got anyway, I don't want to look at that, but that's the yeah. And then so anyway, there's a little bit more on this. You've got the mom here posting literal TikTok video. Posting literal TikTok videos of it.
But now this is her life and my life.
Yeah, and then posting it on TikTok. Like, why would you post this on TikTok?
Having to relearn.
This is genuinely so disgusting. Like, bro, CPS should. Oh my god, CPS should have. The fact that the moment CPS is getting involved, she wants to flee to another state is a massive red flag, and should tell me that she should be in handcuffs, because I can guarantee she probably had something to do with her child now being like this permanently.
Learn how to eat, drink, sit up, walk. She can't do any of these things with this brain trauma. This is our life now. Please help in any way that.
Dude, can you imagine having such Munchausen by proxy that like you freaking try to get your kid killed, and then you like had a DNR on them in the first place, and then when the doctors say fuck you, like we're saving the kid, and then you try to sue them for it, man.
You can.
Like I said, it's all about money. I can guarantee you that's all she wants. She doesn't see this. She doesn't see this child as an actual human being. She probably just sees them as a way to profiteer financially, and it's so fucking just disgusting, in my opinion. Like, the fact that you're gonna literally use your own child for monetary gain is so fucking vile. So vile.
Really appreciate it. We truly appreciate it.
Disgusting human being.
And yes, I did ask for her consent for these videos, since a lot of you are asking. She does consent.
So she can't eat. He can't eat. He can't sit up, can't talk, can't see. Is essentially a child again, because of all the brain damage from having, a literal chunk of his brain missing. But you expect me to believe that he understands the concept of consent? I'm gonna call a massive cap on that.
They should look at. By the way, they should look into like I'm just being real. They should look into like if the kid actually tried to shoot themselves. I'm just being real. They should look into it. They should do the investigative work to see if that's actually what happened. Yeah.
To all of this, so please help us. I appreciate it.
I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying they should look into it. And then there's like like more stuff here, like party after illegally changing her name. Like they did like these these lavish like gender change parties, like like this nice like mowed lawn. They put the blanket out there just so it could post it on TikTok. Like, this is so wild. My daughter's life will be a new look to how it once was, a preview of her old life. Hi, this is my daughter Melody. 14 photos of her before, laughing, bowling strikes, playing guitar, hanging out with me and the dogs. A beautiful party after the name change. A life I tried to fill with adventure, music, love, even though the storm of mental illness she's faced in skirting art. So again, like the suspicious thing here, right, is like, why is there the do not resuscitate on a kid? That's so weird. I've supported her through everything, including her transition, her legal name change, and
why would a kindergartner be suffering from mental illness other than environmental factors at home? Because realistically, a fucking a 7-8-year-old kid, whatever age you start kindergarten at, shouldn't be concerns for someone who's starting kindergarten. Their most major concern is when the fuck nap time is gonna come again. Their biggest concern, it should be the fact that there isn't a color orange in their box because Jimmy is using it. That's what their biggest concern should be. Their biggest concern should be when recess is happening so they can start playing tag. Not, am I a boy or a girl, and having like some midlife crisis. This is all very, like, dude, it's all such blatant grooming on the parents' end. Like, this just reeks of grooming. Years and years of grooming. And like Leave says, I personally wouldn't be shocked if she actually tried to kill her own kid for money.
Dark thing that she could have ever voiced. And the mayor of Long Beach called her brave. I called her mine. Then she tried to leave this world. The mayor of Long Beach called her brave. I called her mine.
Of course you did, because your kid is a tool. Yep, I agree, Julio.
She tried to leave this world. She tried a few times, but this time was hardcore. So like she knew this, and the kid was able to get a held of a gun. Like, that's interesting. Now I sit by her hospital bed every night, day advocating problems on loving her through the brain injury, intense sensory pain, migraine, memory loss, and the pain I wouldn't wish on anybody. And like, this is like so fucking tragic. Oh god, I don't even want to look at that. Like,
disgusting.
This is so tragic, right? She was living in a city with a perfect score on the Human Rights Campaign Equality Index. Like, I mean, I don't want to click on that, right? But she had the Melody. According to the mother, Melody signed a do not resuscitate DNR years prior to this attempt without her knowledge. Doctors ignored the DNR and resuscitated the kid, and now the mom is trying to sue them for.
How does a kid even get a hold of a DNR to begin with? How does a kid even know what a DNR is other than the parent explaining and telling them that? Like I said, no kids should know what these things are unless they're being groomed by their parents and shown these things at a very young age for certain purposes. Like, why would a child want a DNR other than their parent is implanting these ideas into their head?
Doing that. And, here's the proof, because like she's talking about it on Nan.
For me, and trying to figure out how I'm going to support my daughter, because she will need 24-hour care. And so once she comes out of the hospital...
here she is asking for money. Who would have guessed?
In October, I'm not sure how I'm going to work. So everything is up in the air about that. There's a question. Does she have any regrets about it? Apologies if this is a touchy question. No, you can ask totally, Jay. She doesn't have any regrets because she doesn't know that she did it. She doesn't believe she did it. The only thing
hold on.
She hates that.
So the kid doesn't even know that they did it? I guess they do have a pretty traumatic brain injury. But I don't know. They should look into it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying she did it. I'm just saying they should look into it.
The only thing is she says that she hates that she doesn't have eyes anymore and she can't see, and she's really upset about that. Like, she absolutely hates.
Again, the kid has no eyes now, right? All I'm saying, like, is it's kind of weird, right? That, and again, like, I understand that there are trans people. There are people that have I basically believe the same thing with Kersha. I feel like you haven't seen like the Kersha videos on like what she believes on like trans. I basically believe the same thing. I believe that there's people that there's people who are trans, but like we need to like I don't believe in sacrificing everybody else for them. Does that make sense? Like because the thing is there's a lot of kids that don't understand like what they're doing, and the reason why I'm against like all of this like child stuff is because you can't tell. You cannot tell like if the kid is for real, right? Because again, kids like think that they're a bunch of things, right? Kids that like, I thought I was a freaking plant. There's kids that think that they were dinosaurs when they're kids.
I was about to say, there's literal children that pretend to be dinosaurs. Are you gonna have, fucking DNA replacement surgery and graft the lizard scales onto their skin? Just because of that, and cut off their hands and make them short and stubby like a T-Rex? No.
Like, there's all sorts of stuff, right? You don't really understand it. Like when you're
like, this just reminds me of the South Park episode where Kyle's dad, Gerald, surgically turns himself into a dolphin, and Kyle surgically makes himself black because he wants to play basketball. It's like, bro, it's insane.
Kid, right? So, what I'm trying to say is it's a little weird that there's a lot of, especially celebrities with trans kids, and like a lot of them, isn't there a celebrity that has 3 trans kids? Like, what are the odds of that? Like, there's not that many trans people. So it's like, how do you have 8? I mean, 3. How do you have 3?
Yeah, literally trans is quite literally a modern day thing. Like literally not, like it is so modern that if you look 20 years into the past at the start of 2010, this wasn't even a fucking thing. There were no such thing as surgeries. There was none of this shit. And now all of a sudden it's like all these famous people like are popping out trans kids like they're the new norm. It's like genuinely it's you start to question the validity of all this stuff, and you start to question whether there are actual trans kids, which there aren't in my opinion, or if they're just doing it for clout, which is more than likely 99.99999% the actual case. They're just doing this for clout, which sucks ass for these kids because they're never gonna grow up normal.
It's just kind of weird. If it's Cali, the odds are high. Yeah, and it's just like it just seems like there's a pandemic of like this Munchausen, Transhausen by proxy, where you have these parents that are basically doing this for like clout or whatever. And it's just weird that like this mom would like do that and then post it all up on TikTok. It's just so it seems really weird to me. It's sus, it's sus, as the kids say. It's really sus. Yeah. And again, like, I don't have anything against trans people, but like I care about the kids, right? Like, I feel like kids, they don't know what they're doing, and because that, you have to be extra cautious when it comes to children, because they don't know what the fuck's going on. If a person's adult, I don't really give a fuck what they do. But like, if they're a kid, I've said this before, kids aren't capable of making life-altering decisions. And this is how it is in law with like everything else. And this is the reason why an adult can't have sex with a kid, because according to the law, the kid doesn't understand the ramifications of what that means, which is why it's banned. So like, why do we apply the law that way for that? And then we're like, oh, but a kid can like say that, a kid can just like get like these like body altering surgeries. It doesn't make any sense. Like, like
I said at the start, how is it okay for a kid to go cut off their dick and start a hormone replacement therapy, but it's not okay for a kid to go out and buy a gun or to go out and buy cigarettes or alcohol and start drinking? It genuinely makes zero sense how in every other facet of life we're like, no, kids aren't mature enough for this shit. They don't understand it. But when it comes to this one small thing that is very drastic in terms of like how life altering it is, it's like, oh yeah, kids totally understand that. It's a bunch of bullshit.
That's all I'm saying. Right. And then what kind of exactly, what kind of parent puts a DNR on their on their child? It's just weird. The whole situation is sus. Just the TikToking, the DNR, like it's really weird. This situation is incredibly weird. It makes perfect sense. It's a bunch of that want to get more kids. Well, I mean, it doesn't really help with that, Super Vegeta, right? It doesn't really help with that because it's like, it's still illegal. That part is still illegal. So it doesn't really have anything to do with that. Someone who wants to cause harm to their child to cover up abuse. Well, I mean, it doesn't really seem like that's what it is. It seems to me like it just seems like a magnified version of like what we're already seeing nowadays, right? Again, people have been using disabilities and social issues. They've been using that for buffs, right? And the thing is, if you don't want to do that to yourself and like you have a kid, you can do that with your kid, and then your kid becomes the buffs for you. And that's kind of what I mean. I mean, it's literally this.
I see you wish to argue with me on First, I must prepare.
Atheist, mixed race, neurodivergent, anti-fascist, sex worker, dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia? What the fuck is that?
Latinx, photosensitive, Jewish.
Ew, Latinx?
Representing, plus size, polyamorous, AFAB, agender, not traditionally attractive.
You can rate them using AI, yeah. Maybe.
Financially disadvantaged?
I am now ready to debate you.
I mean, that's kind of how it is. That's how it is in like a lot of those circles, like coming out of Tumblr, right? And then it's like they're posting all of this shit on TikTok. All these celebrities are doing.
I blame the changes on Tumblr. Like, genuinely. I blame Tumblr for getting rid of NSFW artworks and all that shit. Because after that happened, they had to mass migrate elsewhere to live out their weird fantasies. And guess where they went? TikTok, Twitter, and all these other platforms with much larger audiences.
Doing that, it's just like it's basically Munchausen by proxy, Transhausen by proxy. Yeah, that's my worry. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's the same thing as people who are using like these kind of buffs for like social clout. It's the exact same thing, but they're doing it to their kid, and it's really fucking dark. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. Sorry, it's like kind of a really, you know, I can't really look at all of the pictures. Like, they're really tragic. Like, I looked at them all, and it's awful. Like, yeah, that's what I think.
It's just disgusting.
Like I wonder about these people that, you know, these like especially celebrities, especially people that have something to gain by talking, but by strutting them around like an accessory. It's like those people that have like gaybies. Have you guys seen gaybies? They're like, they have like
gay
a
babies.
They like pretend like the baby's gay, and it's like a freaking toddler. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It just doesn't make any sense. Or the same thing where they take their kids to like drag, and like they have
Like, bro, oh, the baby's gay. How do you know? Well, it's a boy, and it chose the Barbie doll instead of the G.I. Joe. It's like, what? Like, it's so dumb.
like a drag.
Or, oh, how do you know your child's a lesbian? Oh, because she wanted to play with the G.I. Joes instead of the Barbie Playhouse. Like, dude, it's so wild.
A drag queen kid. It's just weird. It's just a weird like clout mechanic where people are trying to like attain buffs. Dude, it's like they want a pet. They're
I feel like reality TV enhanced the ever-living shit out of this. Like, stuff like the Kardashians and like My 600-Pound Life and like all these other shows where it was reality TV with like all these rich fucking people. And they essentially just glorified their kids as well. I feel like that sort of made that sort of affected a certain group of people where it's like, oh, well, reality TV does this with their kids. I'm gonna do this something else with my kids, and I'm gonna put it on TikTok. I feel like that's also something that just didn't make this any good.
like a pet class. They're a pet class, and they want a buffer pet is what they want. Their kid is like literally like their summon, and then their kid is just buffing them basically. Kid pageants are weird too. Yeah, that whole thing is fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all just insane to me, not gonna lie. But yeah, so disgusting. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Holy shit, that's just genuinely some of the most disgusting behavior I've ever seen, not gonna lie.